Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Matt Lateplo, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you have joined us for our next live presentation from Exodus Movement, Inc. Please note you can submit questions for the presenter in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings through the Schedule Meetings tab found on the conference platform. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome James Gernetsky, Chief Financial Officer of Exodus Movement, Inc., which trades on the OTCQB venture market under the symbol EXOD. Welcome, James.
Hi, thank you very much. So it's wonderful to be here today. Appreciate the opportunity to talk to everyone. There's a lot of information in here. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure we have plenty of time at the end for questions in case I skip over or miss anything. So Exodus Movement, we'll get into that as soon as we get through some legal stuff. There's the cautionary statement. I'll give a second for everybody to read that. Okay, so Exodus, who are you? What do you do? Well, let's start with our mission. We're on a mission to help the world exit the traditional financial system. I think what everyone has seen recently is that large sections of the traditional financial system have not kept up with technology, have not necessarily been serving consumers and users very well. And we're on a mission to help fix that and bring people into the new financial system. So how did we get here? Who are we? What are some of the numbers? We were founded in 2015, and for a digital asset company, that means that we have experienced many bear and bull market cycles. You can think of anything of crazy events that have happened in 2014, 2015, bull markets in 17. Think of all of the shenanigans of 2022. We lived through all of these things, and whether it's bull or bust, if it's bull, we work to save for rainy day. If it was bear, we continue to build and improve our product. So our founders, when they founded the wallet, they noticed in the ecosystem that you needed to have a separate wallet for any Bitcoin app, and if you wanted to do anything on Ethereum and all the Ethereum applications or anything with Ethereum, you needed an Ethereum wallet. Any other wallets in 2014, there was an explosion of different digital assets, and you needed to have a digital wallet for each one. And that was a horrible experience for them personally, and they knew it was a horrible experience for everyone else. So they created the Exodus desktop application, and you can see that in the very background there. And that was our first product, and it launched initially with multiple chains, so Bitcoin and Ethereum, for example. That's a very different approach than what you'll see from a lot of the competition out there, because it's challenging, it's hard. Every chain is very different. Every chain has its own user base and consumers, and to have and support multiple chains is challenging. We support over 20 chains. And that allows us to support a wide variety of digital assets. So it says over 300 here. It's actually a lot more since. We've built a team of 195 full-time equivalent employees, so team members. So most of those team members, because Exodus is a product-focused company, we want people to have an amazing experience with our product, with digital assets in general. And so we focus on product, and you see that in our team makeup. So most of those folks are going to be in engineering or developers, security, and customer support. And we want everyone to have an as intuitive and amazing user experience from the beginning, but we know that cryptocurrency and digital assets, they can be challenging. So we want to be there if for some reason anyone runs into a problem. And so that's why we have 24/7 human support. As I mentioned, during bull markets, we store and save and prepare for any rainy days. We've done very, very well at that. As of September, we had 106 million in cash and crypto on hand. If you go and look at our filing and see the rates, you'll notice that the market value of the crypto has gone up significantly since then. So we have a very robust treasury. We're very well positioned in this marketplace right now. We have 3.8 million funded wallets. What does that mean? That means 3.8 million people have trusted themselves to self-custody, because Exodus is a self-custodial platform. So we do not ever touch anyone's funds. We cannot do that. It's a very different business model. I'll get more to that in a little bit. But with self-custody, you trust yourself. You don't trust a bank. You don't trust a government. You don't trust a cryptocurrency exchange. You literally trust yourself. You control those assets. No one else does, including Exodus. I mentioned the 24/7 human support. Our country availability. So we have over 200 countries are supported in our wallets. The key there, one of the keys there, is that we are not beholden to any specific region of the world or a specific country of the world. So if anything happens in any different country, it's not a death knell to our business in any way, shape, or form. In fact, take the US, for example. The vast majority of our users and our customers are not in the US. So this slide has, our broad evolution. I'm not going to touch on everything here, but you can see, we started in 15 with that desktop wallet, grew and expanded our products. In 2021, we had the first Regulation A offering. I believe the first Regulation A offering that maxed out at that full $75 million. That actually was all in cryptocurrency. So if you wanted to participate, you had to be an Exodus user, and you had to use either Bitcoin, Ethereum, or a crypto called USD coin in order to actually participate in that raise. And we maxed out that raise. Continued to expand the product in bull markets, bear markets. And now we find ourselves here, and we've got this wonderful, what we've learned is that we have this amazing multi-chain, strong user experience, many different things people can do in the wallet through our API providers. I'll get to that in a second. And all of these things are very hard, but we've got years, almost a decade now, of just the company, not to talk about the experiences of our founders and our team members before 2015. But even just as a company, we've got 9 years of experience, which is a lot of experience in crypto. And we are now positioning ourselves to be able to leverage that and help other companies access multi-chain experiences and take these very hard things, and we can take and do that heavy lifting for them and help them help people exit the traditional financial system. So I'll get there in towards the end as well. So wallet as a service. So how do you actually make money, James? If you're a self-custodial cryptocurrency wallet, you cannot touch your users' funds. The typical asset under management model, maybe the company would charge a 1% fee, and they would just take that. If you had $100, guess what? The company takes 1, and now you have 99. But Exodus doesn't have any ability to do that. We can't actually touch our users' money. So what we do is we work with third-party providers of different services. So companies out there that provide specialized services that our users will want to use. So a good example would be if you have money in your bank account and you want to buy Bitcoin and put that Bitcoin in your wallet. Exodus, we don't do that. We don't take custody of any fiat. We don't take custody of crypto. So, and we don't have the licenses in any of the jurisdictions that require licenses for that activity. So we cannot do that, even if we wanted to right now. So we go to third parties and they say, hey, we want to offer this service to your users. And we say, okay, great. We will give you an API. When our users choose you, then depending on the jurisdiction, there's, in the US, it's mostly subscription based. They pay us a subscription to have access to our model. Outside of the US, it's going to be a transaction based. And so we'll stick with the outside of the US. So think you do that you make that transaction, and the API provider will pay us for that. So we never touch the user funds. The API provider would, the third party would, and eventually they would pay us a fee per our contract. There's a number of reasons for this model, but one of the best ones is that we don't have to specialize in any one thing. If there's something new that comes on the market, we are able to go out and get a third party and just incorporate them into the model, help them by giving them access to our users. Our users appreciate having access to a number of different third parties, and that really helps the ecosystem, it helps Exodus, and helps our investors. So another interesting thing about Exodus is, having been a digital asset company from the beginning, the focus is definitely on being a little bit more conservative than maybe you would see in other tech companies, because you could go out and raise money, but you're never going to really get a bank loan. You're not going to have access to lines of credit and things like that. So, we take our profitability and our fiscal sanity, if you will, we take that, and it's very important to us. So we've never been growth at all costs. Definitely focused on growth, but we need ROI and always have wanted ROI in our growth. So in 2022, you could see in our adjusted EBITDA, revenue started coming down. We weren't seeing the ROI. So, we pivoted and started cutting costs much quicker than others in our industry and definitely in tech in general. So we are very focused managers of and stewards of our resources. You can see our revenue trend there. 2020, if you go back to 2019 and 2018, the numbers are about half of 2020. And so we've had consistent growth. 2021, of course, was an amazing bull market year. Obviously we hope that returns, but we don't have to have it return in order for us to do very well. We'll get more into that when we get into users. You can see that 2023, our revenue range is strong. It's going to, we have announced that we will top last year's revenue. So, even in this bear market time period, we've seen growth. Then you'll also notice, we've only got 3 quarters of adjusted EBITDA here on the adjusted EBITDA on 2023. We'll have final numbers, this quarter, of course, for, once we get through our audit. But even with only 3 quarters of adjusted EBITDA, you can see that we've already surpassed 2020's number. And you can definitely see the pivot that we made when it came to seeing that we weren't having the ROI that we wanted on some of the activities due to the 2020 bear market. So our user base, since we are a self-custodial platform, we have a very loyal user base. That product experience that we provide, that level of security, that customer support, all of those things in combination have made for an extremely loyal user base. So this monthly active user trend, we gained in the 2021 bull market. We saw, an amazing number of people join Exodus and download the wallet and start to use it. And, obviously with the bull market hype, that's to be expected. But our users actually stayed. And I need to add in future presentations, I need to add the quarterly active metrics, because what we see from the quarterly is, sure, we not only gained a ton of users, both quarterly and monthly active in 2021, but from a quarterly perspective, they've stayed. So they might, in periods of bear markets like 2022, they might have decreased a little bit, but they still stayed. They might not go in every month, but they're still Exodus users. They're still with us. And you can see that when we have a market turn like Q4, they come back quickly. When there's events in the marketplace, which in crypto, there's a lot of events. When that happens, they're back. So you can see in Q4, obviously, we had the second best ending of a quarter for, since 2021. So, we're very happy with the activity and the loyalty, and obviously we love our users. So if we go to, industry comps here, we've just joined the OTC, and part of the reason there is just the better liquidity from where we were and a more active market. And so we really think that there's going to be an opportunity. If you were to say, James, who is the best comp? Well, Coinbase, they have a very different business model, but if you look at their revenue, their profitability, and you look at it quarterly and overlay ours on top of it, that's probably going to be the closest that you're going to get. The other interesting thing is, and we'll get to our treasury here in a little bit, but we also have a very large Bitcoin treasury and also Ethereum. So in a way, that's somewhat similar to MicroStrategy. We do have a definitely a main business that produces more actual revenue and profits, but keeps adding to our treasury, both fiat and Bitcoin. So in a way, I'd say that MicroStrategy could also, in theory, be a comp. Some of the other ones, PayPal, that's a little bit older school, Riot and Marathon, those are miners. So it's very, very different industry, but still crypto related. So you can see that EV to sales is somewhat silly, and get more into that in a second. So our balance sheet. So it should be noted, we do not have any debt. That 106 million, you can see that we have a large holding of treasury bills. So it's not just crypto. Although our revenue is generated in Bitcoin and primarily Bitcoin, also some USDC and some other currencies, but primarily Bitcoin. We don't necessarily have to, we are not Bitcoin traders. We believe in Bitcoin as a long-term store of value and wealth, and we try not to dip into it when there's a bear market, and we're really seeing the fruits of that now. Generally, we try to keep a 50-50 split between digital assets and fiat. However, that fluctuates, fairly dramatically. So one of the things is I would encourage you to look at all of our, look at our filings, look at our notes, see our treasury holdings, and then, you can do a quick view of how our, treasury is performing, at any given time based on those numbers in there. That will, of course, start to change as we get to mark-to-market accounting. But for now, that's the quickest and easy way to understand how our treasury is doing. So how do we differentiate ourselves? And I think I see a question here, like, how does your business model differ from Coinbase? Why should someone use Exodus versus Coinbase? Well, some of those are in here, right? We have, I would say we have the best customer service in the industry. You will get a human if you run into any problems. Try to do that on a lot of these other, I'm not going to name names, but try to do that on just about any other digital asset platform. Try to get a hold of someone and get a response in under 60 minutes. In times of peak volume, I remember some of these platforms, they would crash, or it would take a week to get a human response at least. So that's one reason. Self-custodial. We are only self-custodial. Sure, Coinbase, some of these other units, they have a self-custodial offering, but that's not their main business. Their main business is definitely their exchange. So if you look at companies like FTX, it was completely fraudulent. SBF is a convicted criminal who was running that operation. And if you had money in there, you lost it, or you had to go through bankruptcy. That is not possible with Exodus. If anything happens to Exodus, as Exodus declares bankruptcy, you still have your keys, you still control your wealth. And then obviously, we work to have a very intuitive design, and we focus on user experience. So that's, those are some of the main reasons. Here's our leadership. JP and Daniel, our founders, they have been experts, and they have been in digital assets for many years prior to creating Exodus. Obviously, we love our users. We love our customers. So, this is, word of mouth is a big part of how we've grown. and how we continue to consistently grow our user base. You can see here's just a sample of all of the things, of some of the things that people have said about us. You'd be amazed that if you look at our customer service tickets, if you look at some of the questions and just some of how grateful and happy and loyal our user base is. So now on to one of the next phases at Exodus. So we have this wallet as a service project with Magic Eden, and I don't think I can click on the link that's down on the bottom. It's their Twitter video. I love how they launched this product. So let me back up a step and say, what is it? What is wallet as a service? So you get a platform. Magic Eden is a platform that focuses on non-fungible tokens, so NFTs. They have a trading platform where you can go and use and trade and do things with your NFTs. They also have a very loyal user base. There are still people. It's not quite, the market isn't what it was in 2021, but there are definitely people out there that still see large value and just love, the NFTs. And a challenge that a lot of DeFi or dApps, as they're called, DeFi applications, that a challenge that a lot of them have is you have to have a wallet in order to interact with these services. What Exodus has found is that, hey, we can go to a company like Magic Eden and we can give them multi-chain, and we can help build a multi-chain wallet using all of our experience and take their experience with NFTs and combine the two and make an amazing experience for customers of Magic Eden. And then we end up sharing the customers. So it really leverages our strengths and leverages Magic Eden's strengths to come together. And it's just a win-win-win for us, for the dApp, and then for the dApp users as well. But what I was saying was they launched on Twitter. You could see, as of the 29th, they had 404,000 views. My marketing nerdness, I love their message. It was very on point. I sometimes wake up and I will play this video just because it gets me pumped in the morning. So encourage you to go check that out. But it's recently launched, and we are extremely happy and pleased with the work of our team and with Magic Eden. And we think that the feedback that we're getting so far, well, here it is people are absolutely loving this product. And so we hope to go out and do this for things like this for many, many more users. And this will help be a growth vector for us going forward. Okay, that took a little bit longer than I wanted. Let me get to some questions here. So I see the first question I have is, what were the drivers behind 2021 growth? Was it a one-time occurrence? No, it wasn't a one-time occurrence, because you can see as general markets, people get interested in the digital asset space in general. You see people coming in, and that is expected. The thing that's almost more important than people coming in is people leaving. You don't want to have a giant market floats all boats perspective or scenario, and then when the market comes gets it down, people leave. And so that's what is really important for us. Is yes, we've attracted a lot of people, especially in market times when all boats are rising. We try to do better than all the other boats. But another very important thing is do people immediately leave and never come back to your platform, and our users stay. And that's a key difference with us. I see the next question is, looks like you are greatly undervalued versus peers on an EV to sales ratio. What are the drivers to revalue Exodus? Well, our hosts at OTC Markets, they're providing a key aspect for us, which is we have not traded on a traditional market. So anyone with a traditional brokerage, a Fidelity, et cetera, they weren't able to access our shares. And frankly, where do Exodus buy securities? Investors buy securities through brokerages. And it's very simple, but that's what we're working on here with OTC Markets. And that's where we're going. I should note that and this is, if you go back and listen to our earnings calls, is definitely something that we've shared with folks. When we did that 2021 Regulation A offering, we had over 6,800 investors who are our users, and vast majority of those were non-accredited. So, we tripped the 12G rules, and we lost our exemption for Reg A. So we will be filing, according to the SEC rules, and we will be a fully public company as well. So, there's a lot of things around a lot of the traditional things that a company who's new to public reporting and things of that nature that they can do to access capital markets. Even though we've been a Reg A and an SEC reporting company for 3 years now, we're just kind of coming to that. So I think all of those different things, of traditional, those traditional things a company does when they come to new markets, that's what we're doing. It's just kind of different for us because, well, we're we were trading on a different platform, and so now we are embracing and going forward. Next question is, can you speak to your client acquisition strategy? How do you gain visibility with non-US based account holders? Well, we do a lot in social media, and that's probably our primary. There are some advertisements out there, but our primary is really going to be just word of mouth. Every country is going to have a different primary reason why you would want a self-custodial wallet. So if you are in, say, South Africa, you might have a very different reason than someone in Argentina. But the common denominator is people realize that having the ability to, control your own wealth, store your own assets, you control them, you don't have to worry about an FTX going under and taking your money with it. You don't have to, you have access to assets and resources that an oppressive regime cannot take away, that are, also a regime that focuses on things like, that it's suffering through giant inflationary periods. There are a lot of different reasons why someone would choose to use our wallets. Next question is, what are your growth drivers and milestones for 2024? I think we are obviously, we have our base business, which is our wallet, and you can see that the users, we don't have any of the Magic Eden users are not included in the numbers that we presented earlier. So, we are focusing on growing our main user base and keeping our users, as I mentioned, that quarterly active to monthly active trend. That is very important to us. We love our users and we want everyone to use our wallet, but we also have that bigger mission of ours, which is to help, the world, exit the traditional financial system. And so that Magic Eden, that should be one of many things we're going to do along those lines in 2024. So those are the things we'll want to start, we'll want to report on as we mature a little bit. We'll always have the reporting on our current user base. We will start reporting as we grow that Magic Eden, that wallet as a service strategy, and some of the other infrastructure as a service and things of strategies of that nature. So I'd say those would be the growth drivers. The other thing is, we do have a large Bitcoin holding. We believe that the halving, there's a lot of, I think if you take your underlying investment philosophy around, Bitcoin and ETFs and halving and things of that nature, and just, where you believe, digital asset markets are going to go this year and in the future, I think that there's the market growth, and then there's the things that we are doing and working on to outperform the market. Hi, would you like to list the company in the NASDAQ, et cetera, after SEC rules? Any thoughts on inorganic growth strategy, bolt-on buys, et cetera? Yeah, I think that, after we're a 12G fully public company, I think we'll look at all options, including, a national market, a national exchange such as NASDAQ or NYSE. So yeah, that's definitely not off the table. Let's see, inorganic growth strategy, bolt-on buys, etc. Yeah, we've publicly stated that we'll explore opportunities, especially as they present themselves. As you can imagine, we get a lot of, with our treasury, we get a lot of inbound requests. We're very particular though. We want to make sure that, we can get that ROI out of any purchases. And we do see consolidation in the industry. So while we don't have anything really to talk about on an M&A front, it's definitely not something that we are avoiding or have no thoughts on. So yeah, I think we'd absolutely consider some inorganic growth. Like I said, but we've got to find the right opportunity. We obviously value our investors and are very wary of a bad deal. We'd rather have no deal than a bad deal. Okay, is that all of the questions? That looks like it. All right, so, any time frame on M&A? I think is what the question just came in. Any time frame on M&A? No, I mean, again, we, or I think that was related to M&A. That was the last part of the question. We consistently look at things. And again, we're not going to put an artificial time frame on any M&A activity. Again, we don't want to force ourselves into a bad deal. Okay. I think that's going to be the last question. Obviously, look, folks, I appreciate it. We've gone over. Thank you to everyone arranging the call, allowing me to go over. Feel free to reach out. We've got our email there, investors@exodus.com. We also have the calendar meeting scheduling opportunity. So if I misread or didn't quite fully answer one of the questions that you have, obviously, feel free to go out, check out all our investor material at exodus.com, the SEC's website. And, if you still have questions, feel free to reach out to us. That's all I have. Thanks, everyone.